I have to say, first it was Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, then Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, two very Democratic states, now Dana Bash. These people do not praise Donald Trump easily or lightly, yet all three of them have.
Right, and it's not just the praise that any president would get. I think there's a natural tendency to pull together, but Democrats in the media had been moving in the opposite direction for quite some time. In fact, the dominant theme in media coverage up until about a week ago was an attempt to blame Donald Trump for mishandling the coronavirus outbreak, even though he imposed a travel ban very early, even though he assembled a task force in January. Of course, they were busy impeaching Trump in January and February, so that certainly impeded things. Try to imagine the outcry if Donald Trump had gone on television in late January and said he had to dismiss Congress for the sake of their own health because of a potential pandemic as they were trying to throw him out of office. That wouldn't have gone over too well. So our political system and our media basically made it more difficult for us to respond in a timely manner, and they continued in that vein for many days. But then Gavin Newsom came out from California and he said, President's done everything we've asked him to do. Andrew Cuomo from New York acknowledged the president, but then took a few digs at him, saying that the administration felt chaotic or had a chaotic approach. Trump then smacked him down to some extent, and that stopped right away. That sort of commentary stopped because the feeling was, I think, not just politically, but in terms of the spirit of the country, this sort of fight was not necessary. We did not need governors to be rebuking the president. We needed them to be helping. The media tried to play up Andrew Cuomo for a day or so as the alternative national leader to Trump. And when Cuomo fell in line, that basically ended that. By Wednesday evening, you even saw Ilhan Omar, who is an avowed opponent of the president, called very early on for his impeachment. She's on the far radical left. She's a member of the squad. She said that his leadership had been incredible.
After see, that is shocking to hear coming from her. She hates Trump in her DNA. I would say she hates America. To call Trump incredible, I had not even heard that.
Yeah, she had praised the president on Wednesday evening after he announced that there would be a moratorium on foreclosures and rental payments and extension of tax deadlines. The Trump administration has come in with a raft of relief measures aimed directly at working Americans. This is a contrast to the Wall Street bailout of late 2008. Now, you can argue that bailout was necessary because that was a financial crisis. This is not a financial crisis. The banks are very healthy right now, thanks to a decade, really, of restructuring and buildup of capital reserves, economic growth, both under Obama and especially under Trump. So everything is actually in place that needs to be in place financially for the system to keep functioning. That's different from 2008. But also in 2008, the Bush administration, and backed by John McCain and Barack Obama, went straight to Wall Street with the bailout and offered liquidity into the financial markets. You can argue whether that was necessary or not, but it never really made its way down to Main Street. The Trump administration is taking on ideas from Democrats like Andrew Yang and saying, at least as an emergency measure, we're going to give cash payments to Americans just to keep the flow of money going, because a lot of people may miss paychecks. People are worried about being able to pay their bills. Essentially, the administration has said, we're going to put all that on hold while we recover as a country. This is nobody's fault. This is not the result of a bad business decision. There's no moral hazard. There's no risk that we're rewarding bad behavior by giving people money, by helping small business and so forth. This is the result of government decisions to shut down the economy, so government is going to provide compensation. And to bring together people like Tom Cotton on the conservative right and Ilhan Omar on the radical left, that tells you something about how this administration is moving forward. So they are picking up more and more political support by the hour.
That's an excerpt from my daily show, The Ezra Levant Show. Every day I do a monologue on the news of the day, then I interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. You gotta subscribe. Go to rebelnews.com.